Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Shubair, from South London, and alhamdulillah I'm here in between Karbala and Najaf doing the walk, obviously. So yeah, I currently am just graduated actually a couple months ago from University of Westminster, Central London. Studied business and Arabic. Just graduated a couple months ago. Now I'm just looking for a job, you know, just deciding on what to do. So alhamdulillah. So right now obviously we're here in between Najaf and Karbala, somewhere where everybody wants to be, and alhamdulillah I got the chance to be here. So yeah. So first time I came to do ziyarah was 2013. That was for Arbaeen. That year I did the whole package, you know, the walk from Najaf to Karbala included. I also came back in 2014 for Arbaeen, but I was unfortunately not able to do the walk because I landed here the day before Arbaeen. So I went straight to Karbala. I think that's the time I came and yeah, inshallah, alhamdulillah. And then I came, this is my third time for Arbaeen specifically, which is obviously 2016 now. But in between the last time I came for Arbaeen and this time, I did come twice. Once 2 years ago for Ashura, sorry, last year for Ashura, and once just a couple months ago for Ramadan. So alhamdulillah, now I've got to experience the different, you know, Ramadan, Muharram and Arbaeen in Karbala and in Najaf. The changes in between the few, well, the first time I came was only three years ago. So it's not been that massive of a change, as in I've seen a difference in the population. Definitely, like this year, you just, even now, you look, it's quite late and you just look down this road and you just see hundreds and hundreds of people still walking now and they're not tired. I remember when I came in 2013, at this time of the night, it was a lot colder, so roads would be empty. So if you wanted to get anywhere quickly, this is the time you walk. Now it's different, now it's packed 24/7. So population-wise, yes, there's a change, definitely. The Haram in Najaf, I haven't been to Karbala yet this time, but definitely in Najaf there's been a massive change. First time I came, I remember so easy to touch the Haram of Imam Ali alayhi salam, the Zari of Imam Ali, that when I went there, I was actually shocked of how easy it was 3 years ago. But this time, I went, I think 5 times I went into the Haram, not once did I touch the Dari. My du'as inshallah are accepted, but I wasn't able to actually touch the Dari this time, so definitely there's been a massive change, definitely. So the first time I came here for Arbaeen, I remember doing the walk, and halfway through the walk I got Wi-Fi somewhere, I can't remember where though. And I had a message from my friend Abdullah. So I remember messaging him saying, you have to come here. It's something, I knew him for not too long, but I did know him for a long time, and I got to know him really well, and I knew what kind of things he liked. And this atmosphere, just looking around here, this atmosphere, he would love it. He's that really chilled person that would love to walk in his own time between Najaf to Karbala. He had a lot of love for the Imams as well. So yeah, so the first time when I was walking, I remember WhatsApping him saying, you have to come, you have to visit this place. And this was only a couple months before he passed away. And he replied to me saying, inshallah, next year I get the chance to visit. So as soon as I got to Al-Abbas, I had a list of du'as from people, and one of them was from my friend Abdullah Ali. And I made the dua specifically. I remember saying, and I even remember when we went back to Najaf afterwards, I remember saying the same dua to Imam Ali alayhi salam, that inshallah my friend Abdullah, who he had been to Syria before the time, before all this problem started. But I remember making the dua specifically saying that inshallah my friend Abdullah, by next year he gets to visit the shrines of Imam Hassan, for Imam Hussein, Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, and Imam Ali alayhi salam. A couple months later he did pass away, not a couple months, but he passed away I think 6 months after Arbaeen. So I remember going at his funeral, and I just remember saying to him that I made the dua that next year you'd get to visit the Imam. And then I remember saying to him that they say, the hadith say that if a dua comes from a true believer, if it comes with the true meaning, meaning behind the dua, sometimes it's given to you in a better response than what you asked for. And I only asked for him to come and visit the Imams over here on the earth. But within 6 months, not only did he visit the Imams on the earth, but he visited them in the heavens. I remember saying this to him at his funeral, and this year I've decided, because I made this dua for him, and unfortunately he never got to experience this, I thought, I've got this t-shirt, it says rest in peace Abdullah. I thought I'll walk between Najaf to Karbala, I'm not going to wear this top the whole time. So far we're more than halfway through, and still got the top on the shoulder. I remember when I first was in Karbala, and this exact scenario happened. I was there, and I remember looking around. I had heard millions and millions of stories about when I reached. All my friends told me, you're going to reach Karbala, it's going to be heartbreaking. Nothing describes how it really feels when you first reach to Karbala. And I remember the first thing I did is I looked around, to analyze the atmosphere, if you can say. And all the buildings were there. It was quite hard. It was, honestly, to be very honest with you, I kind of found it a little bit hard to analyze, because all I could really see was the two beautiful golden domes. But around that, it was hard to see, especially when you're walking in from Bab al-Qibla. From the front, it's hard to see the Khaymaga, it's hard to see the Tilla Zainabiyya, it's hard to see all of this. But what was really helpful, I remember, was throughout the trip, obviously I had the people who was doing the ziyarah with me explaining to me, this is what this happened, this is where this happened. But on top of that, there was a diagram on the wall. It was drawn like a map of, it shows Imam Hassan and Hazrat Abbas, Imam Hussein and Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam's graves. And it shows around it, and it has like the Khaymaga, the Tilla Zainabiyya. It has all of these marked out on this map. And that was really helpful. And after seeing that map, every time I'm in Karbala, I do close my eyes. And every time I close my eyes, especially the one that recalls to me the most is where the hand of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam was cut off. Every time I close my eyes there, all the buildings vanish. And all I see is the Hazrat Abbas, Imam Hussein, and the hands on the floor. And I see sand, and I see no one. So the statement for the non-Muslims, I'll say to the non-Muslims, that there's 20+ million people that walk 80 kilometers or more between Najaf to Karbala, from Imam Ali to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And you haven't heard about it, or you don't know about it, learn about it. And for the Muslims, my message will be, if you haven't visited the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and you ever have a dua and you haven't visited Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, go there and make your dua, and if it's not accepted, then you can come back to me.
My name is Yasmin, and I come from London. This is my 4th Arbaeen walk, and it's my 6th visit to Iraq. I think the biggest difference I've noticed from my first walk to this walk is the amount of people that's increased drastically. I think our first walk when I first came 5 years ago, there didn't seem to be as many people as there are now. Also on the walk, I think we've noticed things like there are more facilities available, so even practical things like toilets, internet facilities, that kind of thing. And what's been really nice to see is we just stopped a little while ago at this mokib, which had it was an international one where people came in and they talked about where they came from. So people had come from Tanzania and from America and from England. And people actually had photos taken with the different flags of their countries. So that was really nice to see in this walk as well. I noticed different groups of people coming in. So today I noticed people from Indonesia, people from Malaysia. There was a mokib from Thailand. I think it's really inspiring to see how many people are now participating in this walk. It's to express my gratitude to them. It's to express my love to them. I mean, Imam Hussein inspires people in so many different ways. One of the ways he inspires me is, I think one of the ways he inspires me is to help other people. So when I come to Iraq, I always collect lots of funds for orphans, because I think to do that in the name of Imam Hussein, he inspires me to do that. In London, I also work with refugees. I also go and feed the homeless, because it's all in the name of Imam Hussein. So for me to come here and to do this walk, and it's not an easy walk to do by any means, and in fact I think it gets harder. The more walks I do, the more difficult it gets. But I feel like it's a way to show him how much I love him and how devoted I am to him. It's really incredibly difficult to describe the experience of the walk. How do you explain to someone about the service that's given to the Zawars? How do you explain to someone that people open up their houses, people open up their hearts, people give you food, drink? If they can do nothing for you, they'll give you a massage. How do you explain that to people who don't know? Maybe it's easier to explain to Muslims that actually this is a walk of devotion, but to non-Muslims, just the magnitude is incredible. I mean, I know there are walks that happen in the Christian world too, like people walk to Lourdes. There's a book I was reading recently, it was about the walk to Santiago, and in those walks they talk about thousands of people walking, but this is millions of people walking. And I think I've said to people, I've encouraged my non-Muslim friends to come and do the walk, because I think you need to experience it. There aren't words to describe it. It's not that simple at all.
My name is Fatima. I come from London. I work in IT, and I've taken these 2 weeks to come for Arbaeen to Karbala. It's my second Arbaeen walk and third ziyarah. So in the last 12 months, I've been able to do 2 Arbaeen walk, alhamdulillah, and 1 ziyarah. The atmosphere is like none other. The reason I came the first time is a few people have told me about this Arbaeen walk, and I came to see what it's like. And it's not like anything I expected. People's generosity is unlimited, and the way people just ask you to come, to beg you to come and sleep over, or have a meal, or even have some water, or even tissue, has just surprised me a lot. What I've noticed is that last year when I came, I was in a hurry to just get to the market where we sleeping overnight. However, this year I took it slowly, and it took me hours to get there instead of a couple of hours. And I've been able to observe the atmosphere a lot more and see a lot more different people. We walked past an Indonesian group this morning, and I was really surprised that they came all the way from Indonesia, given what goes on there, especially for the Shia. And for them to come over here, and they have a mawkib next to the Thai mawkib also. So they were next to each other, and they were serving food, serving tea and all that. Last year I thought I would come and maybe that's it. That would be my only trip, but then I've decided it's going to be every year, inshallah. If I can, obviously. Yeah, sure. The first time I was out of curiosity, not more than anything. But the second time, now this trip basically, they say something draws you back to Karbala. Once you come the first time, something draws you back. And I think for me, what's happening in the world right now, a lot of the injustice that's going on, Imam Hussein, Abu Al-Abbas, and everyone else who died as martyrs with them, they inspire me to actually stand up for justice. And when I come here, I just take the inspiration from them. And I also want to come and say, it is an honor for me to be able to, it's an opportunity for me to come over here, and I have the opportunity to actually come. It's like there is no persecution or anything in London. We're free to travel, to come here, get us stamps on our passports and all that. And if I have the opportunity, I should just take it. And I go there. When I do go to the Haram, it's just the first thing I just say, thank you for doing what you did. Otherwise, I don't think Islam will have been what it is right now, regardless of what sect in Islam you are part of. For them, I'll start with the non-Muslims, and whether you believe in God or not, I would say just take a few days of work or school, whatever you may do. Just come and see. It's difficult. It's not a documentary or someone telling you the story doesn't do justice to what you see here, because you see all sorts of people from all different backgrounds, from all different religions, all walk into Karbala for the same purpose. There's a lot of show of humanity, and especially in Iraq with what's going on in certain parts. It's very peaceful here. It's very safe. We were walking at night. Nothing's happened to us, and nothing will happen, I'm sure, inshallah. So just come and see it. It's definitely worth a visit. For the Muslims, what I'll say is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you know much about Imam Hussein or not, or the Battle of Karbala. Just, I'd say, just come if you want to learn about it. Just come for this Arbaeen walk. Whether it's the walk or just coming to Karbala, you'll learn more about it. And at this time, especially during our time now where we really need the unity of Islam, this is the time for actually Muslims to be united. And you will actually see the unity here in Karbala, not just between Muslims, but between Muslims and Christians and anyone else who comes here. So it doesn't matter from what sect of Islam you are from, you're going to be treated the same. No one cares what you believe in, just people are just happy to have you here and to serve you.
My name is Qasr Al-Amiri. I am from London, but originally I'm from Al-Abbas. I study pharmacy at King's College London. I'm 21 years old. My hobbies include football, generally, majalis, etc. Obviously, being born a Shia Muslim, my mother's always had that love for Imam Hussein, and she's embedded it in me. So ever since I was young, I was attending majalis, etc. And as time goes along, you learn more and more.
So it got to a point where this year, alhamdulillah, I had the opportunity. I didn't have any, for example, uni or school or college, so I could come and visit. And this is my first time coming to Arbaeen, and yeah, it's been a great experience so far. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect when I came, but as soon as I got here in the beginning, it was a bit like, this place is a bit weird. I've never been to something like this. I've been to Qasr Al-Amiri many times, but it's not the same. It's more, you're alone. As in, normally I come with my parents. This time I was all alone, and I don't know where to sleep, etc. I don't know what to do, but it's crazy. People are just, like, Iraqis in general are just amazing. Everyone's here to offer you food. Everyone wants to give you a place to stay. Everyone's forcing you to take it. They want to take it. The spirituality of it is immense. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a very spiritual person. I don't. It takes me a lot to connect to things like this. But on the way, whenever I see, for example, Shuhada, Hashd al-Sha'bi, or if I see things such as Latom, etc., you start to actually feel the passion. Also, whenever I'm walking, I think about what Lady Zainab had to go through when she walked, and it's crazy. I'm complaining about this, but imagine what she went through. Basically, I would go not on the religious basis, I would go on the humanitarian side of Imam Hussein, because Imam Hussein is for everyone in that sense. Whether it's a dictator of your time or his time, he stood against oppression. Imam Hussein stood against oppression, and today it shows us that we should stand against oppression. For example, standing against Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, Al-Saud, etc. These people are all oppressors, and Imam Hussein's message is to stand up against injustice when you see it, whether even if it's on a small scale, of seeing someone, for example, at university being bullied or anything like that. Stand up for those who can't speak for themselves. That's the message I get from Imam Hussein. To be honest, one of the highlights of it was quite a sad one, but it was just seeing the Shuhada across the way, and for example, I saw one specific one was the Shabab from Karada that died. That really touched my heart, and honestly, it's really affected me, and it's hurt me. It's honestly hurt me, and I feel like these people could have been me or you or anyone, and it's just heartbreaking when you see that. But at the same time, you have to look at it. These people are shuhada now, and they have the highest place in 100%, inshallah. I think on the basis of the West, for example, Britain, I think they're very accepting in these kind of things. For example, when you see 20 million people coming to one city, to one pilgrimage, that's not a small thing. That is, in fact, I don't know if I'm wrong about this, but it's one of the biggest actual, for example, where one people are in one city. So I think generally the West, they see, and a lot of the West do know about Imam Hussein, by the way. A lot, for example, I don't know how true this is, but I've seen quotes, apparently Gandhi mentioned Imam Hussein. My last comments, I'll give two things. One is, do not try to speed walk the walk, because you will die if you speed walk the walk. And trust me and Amir, we ate it, let's just say. And the second is, I feel like before I came here, I had a fear of coming, because I was scared that I wasn't invited by Imam Hussein. In the beginning, for the first 300-400, I wanted to turn back. I really, honestly, and Amir knows, I wanted to turn back. I was like, I don't want to do this. But I kept going, kept pushing, and now I feel like Imam Hussein wants me there, and I've got an invitation from him. Inshallah, I'll reach there tonight.